Hi everybody, my name is Matt Kane, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Canopus Drum Company, and specifically the Canopus Neo Vintage M1 series kit. I think the Canopus Company is the most amazing drum company out there right now. I started hearing about them several years ago. Even from guitar players and bass players around New York were raving about these drums. So when I finally got a chance to play a kit myself, I knew that they were right. The drums just sing, the sound jumps right off the drum. They feel great, and each drum is very consistent. So every kit that Canopus makes, the RFM, the Neo Vintage, the Yaiba, every kit is completely amazing in and of itself. For my taste, I like the Neo Vintage M1 series. So the Neo Vintage drum kit has the toms and the snare have 7-ply shells, and which are maple and poplar. The bass drum is a 10-ply shell. They have, one of the reasons I like them so much is because they have rounded bearing edges, which kind of gives the drum a little bit more of a fundamental tone. And also another thing that focuses that tone are the die-cast hoops, which I absolutely love. The snare has a die-cast hoop on it as well. So the thing about the Canopus Company that's so great is that the craftsmanship is just spot on. I mean, they're really putting a lot of thought into these drums, a lot of intelligence, and you know it as soon as you play one of these kits. They're very balanced from drum to drum, meaning that the sound is very clear and consistent from each drum. So I don't feel like I have to adjust my touch when I'm playing on the toms as opposed to the snare. And with the bass drum, I feel that I don't have to put much into the bass drum, and I feel a lot of sound coming back out of the drum. And they project very well because of that. So I feel like the Canopus drums are a totally complete instrument. One of the other things I like about the Canopus Company is their attention to detail and their intelligence. The bolt-tight washers that they've invented are amazing. They're these leather washers that go on the lug bolts so that your drum hoop is not resting on metal, but it's actually resting on leather. This gives the sound just a little bit more depth to my ear, and it changes the feel slightly. I feel that the drum, it feels a little bit softer to me, especially with the rim shots. I don't feel like you get quite that as much shock. Another great detail about the Canopus drums are their snare wire. This drum has vintage snare wire, which is brass, and the Canopus Company really put some good thought into these snare wires, and their snare wires just open a drum up. So when I play on this Canopus snare drum, I feel like I'm getting more depth, but I'm not losing any of the sensitivity. So that's a huge factor. A lot of times I feel snare drums choke, even the highest of quality snare drums. If the snares are not the best quality, they can choke. So I think Canopus did some amazing work just on the snare wires alone, and that matches the overall quality. The design of the lugs is amazing. The whole thing. What can I say? They're just amazing drums. Get you a set of these drums. You'll be so glad you did. Thank you, Canopus. Also want to give a shout out to Explorers Percussion in Kansas City and my man Frank Coronado at the Long Island Drum Center in Nyack, New York. Thank you all. Take care.